quite possibly going to be one of the biggest theme parks in Europe. Been working on an app. I had an app anyway to log my flights, was to manage my wings and my paramotor parts. I wanted to make sure that I'm on top of all of my maintenance. It's telling me at the moment that the Dudek Universal is overdue a service. I've made a heat map, so that will show you where you've been flying.
It's 6:30 on the 3rd of March. Just deciding whether I can fly or not. So the wind is blowing towards the fog over there. It's totally fine to take off as long as I stay near this field. It's whether the conditions worsen while I'm away or not. Planning on a fairly short flight because of puppy. So I need to do puppy sitting. So a few of you have messaged me and asked, where are the videos, Mark? What have you been doing? Well, two reasons actually. First reason, as I mentioned in my last video, I was planning on getting a puppy and we picked the puppy up the end of January, and actually it's been a bit of a puppy-geddon. The puppy is mental. It's into absolutely everything. It's actually been a bit more effort and requires a lot more dedication than I thought it would. I've had a dog before, Scruffy. She died last year, and as a puppy she was totally fine, and for some reason I thought all puppies were like that, but no, this one isn't. This one's nuts. So puppy is under training at the moment. I just haven't been able to fly because my wife works full time and I need to look after the puppy. If I leave the room, the puppy cries her eyes out. That's the first reason. The second one, if you're in the UK, you probably are well aware the weather has been atrocious, very, very wet. By the way, I got this from Swoop Air Sports. Really good quality for my sock. I have had the sock fall over before, so hopefully this will stop that. Right, sock is up. What we got? Very, very light winds. Around 500 feet up there, around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Grass, very wet. It's super humid, as you can see. We're taking the Monster up today with the Hadron 3. Right, sock. Totally nil wind now, look at that, not moving. We've got good enough conditions to take off. If I come back and the field is fogged, I will land out. All free and clear, good. Right, let's hurry up and get up. Temperature is 4 degrees C on the ground. Well, that sock is looking absolutely perfection. Don't jinx it, Mark, don't jinx it. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yay, that's just a bit nervous. That's all it is, it's not worse on the ground. Right, first location on this flight is Universal Studios. Will you look at this morning? Oh, so good, I can get up. I've missed flying, I've missed it. So what we're going to do now is fly over to Stuart B. Just beyond Stuart B is the Universal Studios site. There's Stuart B there, down below. And we're coming up to Universal Studios Bedford, is it called? I don't know what they're calling it. Oh, what a beautiful day. Stunning, absolutely beautiful. Quite possibly going to be one of the biggest theme parks in Europe. Here we go, there is the site in its entirety, pretty much. Is that lake going to be in it, do you think? Let's come down a bit lower. I don't see anyone working yet. Let's get brakes in hand. Let's pull both trims in. It's just like a river, look at it. It's just absolutely waterlogged. That's going to be hard to work in, isn't it? 7:16 a.m. Some workers down there. Well, they're doing something. They are diggy.
So site entrance looks like it's over here. Sort of a hard surface to drive on. Okay. Even that's super muddy. Wow. It's all happening. These houses over here, let's just go over and show you these. 9 out of 13 have been purchased. This row of houses. This is also universal. Quite a big site, isn't it? Not surprising. Why on earth they chose this location, I don't know. Apart from cheap land, maybe. I mean, Davinci is alright, but it's not really particularly a tourist destination. It is now. It is now. Well, it will be. 5 years. 5-year build for the initial door opening, apparently. I think. I could be getting all of this wrong. I'm sort of making it up. I think that's what I've read on Facebook, so it must be true. Yeah, this could be quite nice. All these little bits here. Wow, this is all universal still, I guess. Let's go down this track. Bit of low flying, bit of cheeky low flying, why not? This is a really good flight. Is this all universal as well, all this? Don't think so, it might be. There's markers and shit over there. Yeah, it could go all the way up here. But I don't know. So don't quote me on it. Very nice. So I managed to pull the trims in on the Hadron with one hand. Don't try this at home, kids. As I was saying earlier, where have I been? Ruby has arrived on the scene, and it's almost as much work as having a baby. This puppy is, anyway. It's 12 weeks old now. And I'll tell you a little story. Before we got the puppy, I thought, right, this dog is going to be the best trained dog ever. And I had firmly fixed in my mind that I was going to do a really good job of training the dog. Because I wanted a really well-behaved dog. Because that leads to a happier dog and a happier owner. So that was my goal anyway. Ruby had other ideas. Just wanted to bite me, bite my face, jump up, eat everything in sight, all the shoes, furniture, everything. She was just totally hyper. Which you'd think you would kind of expect for a puppy, but my last dog wasn't like that. So it got to the point after a few weeks where I thought I'd made a massive mistake of getting a puppy, because she was just so full of it, and it got to the point where she was biting my hands, my arms, my clothes so much. The thought crossed my mind, maybe I need to sell her on. I just can't deal with this. Can't do my work, can't go flying, can't do anything. I'm doing this course online by a guy called Will Atherton, called the Perfect Puppy Course. Sounds great, doesn't it? So I'm doing that, and he said the foundation of puppy behaviour, good puppy behaviour, is to use a crate. It's crate training. We did try putting Ruby in a crate in a puppy pen, but she just cried and whined and whinged and howled. And I thought, I can't listen to that, I'm not doing that. But when Will Atherton said, this is just, it's the foundation of your puppy's training, you must do it, it's not optional, it's mandatory. I was like, okay. I kind of got the idea that this was a super important thing to do. So I got the crate out again, put Ruby in the crate, and she whined for like 10 minutes. I gave her a little chewy bone in there, said kind of soothe her as well. After 10 minutes she quieted down and went to sleep. I think half the problem was she was so hyper and mental that she couldn't sleep So, to cut a long story short, Ruby, I now have 3 crates, one in my office, one in the living room and one in my bedroom. And she goes in, she has a bit of a whine or whinge for literally less than 1 minute now after a week or so of doing the crate training. Just had her final vaccination, so I'll be taking her for a dog walk. But I did put my lead on her and just wanted to chew it, obviously being a puppy. But this course teaches you about the loose lead walking as well. So loose lead walking and crate training are the keys to good doggy behaviour. So I feel much relieved. So that's the main reason I haven't been flying or making videos. Just have not had any time to either go flying or make the videos. Weather's been pretty bad anyway. This week's looking good. The other thing I want to talk to you about I've been working on, I work in IT. My role in IT is a performance and reliability engineer. So I go into all of the development teams at the company I work at. I go into these teams and help them with performance and reliability issues. I am the fixer. That's what I do. The other thing I was going to come on to is I've been working on an app. I had an app anyway to log my flights. Being an IT guy, I'm super nerdy. I want to know all my flying stats. And I thought to myself, I put all this effort into this app. Why don't I just make it available to everyone else? But at the time, the app was only single user. It wasn't designed for multiple people to use it. So the last few months I've been making it multi-user and I've put in some social features. So you can like other people's shared flights, you can add comments to people's flights, you can follow people, you can add your tracks, your photos, videos, all that stuff you can add in. And if you want to share your flight with anyone, there's a share flight button and you can just share it. So I'll just show you what it looks like. I click on PPG Social, that's the name of the app, because it's going to be focused on social flight logging. Let's put it into light mode so you can see. So that's the app. What I will do is I'll log this flight that I'm doing now on the desktop when I get home, and you can see my typical workflow. Basically, this is the home page. I've had 800 flights. These are all the shared flights. I have a few test users at the moment that have just give me some feedback. So we've got some shared flights in here already. And then you can click on any of those. So let's click on this top one here. So it shows you the flight track. You can make that bigger if you want. It shows you the elevation and the ground elevation notes, and then the photos of that flight. You can look at all the photos. It's a video. This guy's put a video up, and then all the flight data. I'm using several APIs. So for you non-tech folk, what that does, the app will do some lookups on the internet. It will look up the current weather, all of the weather conditions, as you can see here. Let me just scroll down a bit. So what it will do is it will look up the weather. So on this flight, this guy, it was 29 degrees. It's got the air pressure, visibility, humidity, all that stuff, wind conditions, direction. All that stuff is automatically looked up using OpenMeteo. So you can rate your flights, then you can add comments. So I added a comment to this one, and at the top you can like it, so I've done a like. It's got a notification system. So today I got a notification, flyable conditions. So what it will do, if you put in your home field, every 4 hours or so, it looks at the weather, and it looks ahead 3 days, and you can tell it to email you if the weather's flyable or not in your home field. So if I go to settings, notifications, so in settings, so I'm trying to talk to the camera and talk about my app at the same time. So you can choose to have an email or not. You can switch that off. If you find emails annoying, we can just toggle that off. What the great thing about it is on the stats page, it will tell you your flight stats. So these are my all-time flight stats. All this stuff. There's some charts, table. and you can do it by year. So for 2025, for example, there's all my flight data, and you can filter it on wings, all that stuff. The really important part of it, that's the main reason I made this app in the first place, which was about 4 years ago. I built the database back end side of it, was to manage my wings and my paramotor parts. I wanted to make sure that I'm on top of all of my maintenance, despite me having a ton of engine outs, I know, but I do try. So this is telling me at the moment that the Dudek Universal is overdue a service. If I click on that, it tells me all the information about it. But actually, since the last service, it's only done 7 hours, but it's been 29 months. You should service your wings at least every 2 years. But I hardly ever fly it, so I'm not even sure if I'm going to bother. Anyway, so for example, the Hadron that I'm flying now, right at this moment, I've done 31 hours since the last service. That was 7 months ago, so it's all tip-top. It's got all my service history in there. And then for paramotors, put all your paramotors in there. I've only got 2. So I've got the Monster, and it'll tell you when something is due. So I need to check the airbox snap lock soon, and it tells me when I need to check all the other parts. And you can set this up. If you don't agree with Viterazzi's maintenance schedule, you can put your own one in. If I go back to the motors page, so you can manage your own parts catalogue, and you can put in your own stats however you want to do it. And then finally on the fields page, you can put in your home field. So for me that's Millbrook, and if anyone else has used a field, it will automatically find it based on your start and end point. So it just makes logging flights really easy, which I'll show you that when I get home. And finally, if you click on My Flights, you can then add a flight. You can bulk import many flights, do up to 50 at a time. So if you've got a backlog of flights you want to add, you can easily just dump all the GPX tracks in there. These are all my flights. So here's one I haven't shared. So if you want to make it public, just click on the share button. That's now shared. You can share it to whatever. I've limited the number of people to 20 because there's probably a load of bugs in it. I want to get all the bugs ironed out first. So if you're interested, if you think you'll use it, if you're interested in logging your flights and getting loads of nerdy stats, actually, this reminds me, look at this. If you go to the tracks tab, I've made a heat map. So that will show you where you've been flying. There's like a heat map. I quite like that. And you can do that by year, or you can do it for all time. So that's got, it's loading all the years. There you go. So there's the heat map, my flights. If you want to log your stats, feel free to sign up. It's ppg.social. What I would ask, if you have a Google account, can you try signing up with a Google account? It works for me. I don't know if it works for other people. I had to jump through some hoops to get that working. We are on our way to the Black Cat roundabout. I'm not sure if we'll get there. No, we won't. Just realised I need to turn back. Lovely day. What an absolutely fantastic day. So Ruby is preventing me from staying up any longer. Wife's going to work. I haven't worked on the separation anxiety phase yet. That's my next stage, is to work on putting her in the crate before I go out, and then I'm only going to do that if she's perfectly happy with it. So if she's perfectly happy in the crate, I can go for a couple of hour flight, come back, and she won't have destroyed the house, and she would have been basically just been asleep the whole time. That's my goal. Hoping to get that achieved in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then after that bring her to fly-ins. I have brought the paramotor into the garden and fired it up, and she didn't even bat an eyelid. She didn't even care. So I think she's going to love the airfield. Just wanted to do a little bit of low flying and then we'll head back. See my puppy. Well, didn't get as far as I thought I would. just talking to you on the camera, only doing, with a strong headwind. So I think what I'll do is climb up, have a coffee, and then get Ruby, put her in the crate, go to work. That is the A421. I want to get some altitude before I go over that. So, spring is in the air, third of March. Look, there's some blossom. That's the word I'm looking for. So we're using SkyDemon. Gaggle. Actually, let's move back to my field. Saying ETA 806. That's good. Cheers, everyone. Time for coffee. So, 15 minutes I'll be landing. Spring has sprung, winter is behind us. Things are looking good, folks. Things are looking up. I know it's been a really bad winter for flying in the south. Having said that, I managed to get 9 flights in January. I don't know how I managed that, to be honest, because the weather's been really bad. February was worse. 1 flight in February. Time now is 7:54. Landing 5 minutes. Right, let's have a look at Universal again. What are they doing? So it'll be quite interesting to see how this develops. There they are, all at work, building a theme park. Awesome. Markings here. Right, let's see if we can time this. Can I come straight in? Should look at the sock and do a circuit really. Actually, no, it's fine. I don't think I need to. Let's assume it's good. A little bit high actually. Still a wee bit high. That's too high. Do it go around. Let's try that again. At least I know the sock direction anyway. I probably could have done it, to be honest, but
down. So this is my normal process. I've got SkyDemon on the left and Gaggle on the right on the web browser. So what I'm going to do is export my SkyDemon track. I'm going to save that. So that was 2026. Just put a little title for my GPX track. So when I go to ppg.social, I can just go to new log single flight. So these are my GPS tracks. I can just drag the one I've just downloaded into here. That will then load that in, process the flight data. What it's doing now is it's making it optimal so that it for performance next time. It's looked up all of the data that it needs. I can put some photos in here as well. Now we'll do that in a second. So these blue fields is what is automatically added in. It's used the Hadron 3 and the Monster MY25, did a forward launch, landed on my feet, and there's my flight track. And it's automatically put in all the flight stats as well, my fuel burn based on the average that I've been doing recently. So the fuel for that flight, I took off with 8.5 and landed with 4, so I actually used 4.5 litres on that flight, so I'm just going to amend that. It does automatically calculate based on past usage. So the launch conditions, all the weather is in there, that's all been populated as well. So I'm going to put here flight over Universal and talking about this app, some comments. That's quite a nice flight actually. And then you just click log flight and then the flight is logged. Then automatically redirects to the flight details page. And then here you can then add flight videos if you want. I've got links to Google Photos and SmugMug, so let's add SmugMug. And I can add the photos from that flight. So if you go to paramotoring 2026, and then this flight is my last one, let's import all those photos. Then it just basically automatically imports all the photos from SmugMug. Takes a minute to do. Okay, so that took a minute to upload, and there's all the photos, and you can look at the photos at your leisure, and then you can set one of them as a cover photo that will appear in certain places. Let's set that one as the cover. So that's been updated. And then later on, when I publish this video, I'll enter the YouTube link in here, and then it will show up as a YouTube link. And all of the weather conditions are auto-populated. You can do the same thing with Gaggle. So with the Gaggle track, if I go to all flights, so this latest flight was this one. So you can do the same thing in Gaggle. You can go to the information part, click export. You can choose, I've only tested GPX and IGC. I have done a generic KML one, but I haven't tested that for Gaggle yet. I'd recommend using GPX. That's pretty much it. So let's share this flight now. Click share, and that is now shared. I can just click on that button there, and that will be a link to this flight. We'll go to the home page. Scroll down, my shared flight now appears at the top. So, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.